any rumble from just affecting the limiter and kind of from actually colouring your sound. So I've got the threshold at like minus 0.5, which is hardly anything, and the out ceiling to -1, just to make sure that everything sort of stays below that peak. It generally does, but it just, if anything pops over that, I like to give the mastering engineer a nice even waveform to work with, so there's no sort of renegade sort of spikes. So if we just listen to the tune at its fullest and watch what the master's actually doing. Like, the limiter isn't even really attenuating at all on the main groove, so you know that it's, that's going to be alright. If it's pulling it down loads, you're limiting it too much, or you need to rethink your mix because it's too loud, basically. Well, it's not too loud. That's a whole different debate, but the signal's spiking too high. You definitely want to give your mastering engineer a good couple of dBs of headroom to kind of work with. And also, just check your sort of master channel as well. You want to see your signal flapping up and down quite a lot. Like I said earlier about drums, it's all about dynamics. Like, your tune can sound really loud, but if you've squashed it too much when you do listen to it in a loud club system, you'll be disappointed. It will sound flat, and it might not even be as loud as you thought it was. So make sure you've got some dynamics going on your master. If you're mastering a tune to play out on CD, well, what I do anyway is I will actually sort of squash my master quite a lot, and so I'll probably use something like a PSP vintage warmer. It's quite old school. Someone actually laughed at me the other day when I told them I use this on my master, but I'm really happy with the way it sounds. I play my tunes out on CD and they sound fine. So what you got is basically multi-band limiting, multi-band compression, and sort of, I guess, EQ as well. And you've also got the ability to listen to your tune in mono, which I really like at the last sort of stage. Just flip your tune into mono, listen to it, and make sure that you're not getting any weird phasing because of sample delays or anything like that. Remember, there's the ozone plugin as well, which you can use. You can actually use that on your master if you are getting problems with your stereo image, but I don't really know it well enough to kind of trust it to do that. If I'm going to play a tune out, well, I'll probably drive it quite a lot. So if you look at the signal loud, it's hitting the top, but it's still flapping a little bit. There's still a little bit of dynamics left in there. I mean, I can actually probably get away with driving that a little bit more. And what I'll generally do as well, I'll boost the low around 150 to kind of just bring a bit of warmth to the kick and the bass around there. So I'll just boost that like maybe, a dB, 2 dBs there, and then I'll probably sort of scan the highs and figure out where to boost it. If it's the final, like if it's a CD play out, I'll probably boost it just quite high around sort of 5k sort of mark, 5, 6k. And boost that by a couple as well, and just sort of use your ears. And also another good thing to do is listen to it really quietly on your master, because when you're listening to stuff loud, it's really deceiving. If something suddenly gets louder and brighter, you're like, yeah, wicked, but when you turn it down, you might notice that it's actually too bright, or there's like, if you hear it distorting at a low level, you're kind of driving it too much. Another thing to do really is at this stage, check the frequency analyzer and just make sure that you've got like a sort of relatively even sort of spectrum, and it's sort of, you're peaking around the sort of kick and the snare if you're making sort of dance music. That sounds fine to me, so that'll probably do for my play out version. Don't send stuff like that to mastering engineers, because they won't be able to do anything to it apart from probably distort it, and yeah, you'll probably be disappointed with the master you get back. Another way to get your tunes fat is to buy my album. That'll definitely make your tunes fatter. I've been Tommy Dash from CtrlZ and Stereotype. I hope you found this tutorial useful. Even if you only took one thing away from it that you didn't know before, I consider that a success. If you like what you heard and you're into this kind of music, check out my album, which is coming out in February, Stereotype, What's That Noise? Big ups.